Our next guest on the Any Given Run Day podcast has 2 ultramarathons to her name, 9 marathons, including Chicago, London, Dublin, Valencia, and recently San Francisco. She has 150 park runs to her name, runs the Phoenix Flyers Run Club, and is a member of Asics UK and Ireland frontrunner team. Rachel Abernethy, welcome to this week's episode of the Any Given Run Day podcast. How are you getting on?
Hi guys, thank you so much for having me. That was an amazing introduction. I'm kind of thinking, wow, there's a lot going on there.
You said, but it took him 3 goals to get it right. Look, this podcast
There's a lot there. I need a breather.
I'm going to say what it is. It was a tongue twister. He was trying his best.
You did well, Sean.
Did you know what it was? The original mess up I did was actually Chicago. I always say Chicago. And as soon as I said that, I was stumbling from there and I messed it up.
Rachel, it is phenomenal the amount of things you've done. Have you always been into running? Is this something that came new to you? Where did your sporting journey start?
Yeah, so it started for me back in school. So that's going back quite a long time now. I wasn't very competitive.
Back when he was in the hedges and all that, or
yeah, like Harriers clubs, cross country, and it was grim. You know, I just wanted to be talking to my friends, so I was back of the pack. You know, wasn't bothered about it at all. Kind of into sports, kind of average. And then it was really more outside of school. I was running with my parents. They had joined a local club, but I always tell this story because we were doing probably what feels to me now quite a short route, but I was really struggling. And this guy puts his hand on my back and he's like, come on, keep going. I'm like, no, get off me. I don't want to do this. Absolutely hated it. And then I think a few years passed, I did a few races. And then when I was at university in Scotland, I signed up for my first half marathon, and that was in 2014. And I've done basically a big race, or what I consider, like a big event basically every year since then. And did my first marathon in 2018 and kind of been building since. So it feels like a long time. I guess it's over 10 years now of doing kind of the big events.
A lot of people, when they get started into running, we all hate running. I hated it. I hated it for the longest time. And then I don't know what changed. And maybe it's because I'm doing it so long, I see the benefits of it so long. For you, do you remember the point where it went from get off me, I hate running, to, do you know what, I really enjoy this? What was that change? Because I find it hard to describe when people are like, how do you do this? This is horrible. I'm like, I can't remember what it was for me. What was it for you?
Well, I know if anybody does say that to me now, I just say to them, you're probably going far too fast. Like, of course it's going to be awful whenever you're running at that pace like that. Just, take it easy. But I think for me, I think it was just realizing that, you could go out and be running along the coast or somewhere and just have that time to switch off, and then realizing that there's more to it than training for races, and it's just a nice way to kind of switch off. I think that's what made me realize it can just be part of your life, and it's not always like training for something, it's just something that you do. And I think that just came from the training, I guess, but then it's just evolved into the way of life. Probably the same for a lot of us.
At what stage, Rachel, then did you go from that to, I got to bring people along for this, because like going through all your Instagram, it's clear you love running, you love hill runs, you love Swifty. They all come apart in that one. But when did you like, I have to bring other people into this, and Phoenix Flyers and all the rest?
Yeah. So I'm always trying to get people to join in with running. And it was during the pandemic, I was posting on TikTok and sharing my runs through there. Same on Instagram, but on TikTok it was different. You were connecting with people all over the world. And I started doing the TikTok 5K run, and there were people from everywhere posting. We'd specified a certain day and we all went out and ran a 5K, and then they would post their video about it. And then I collated all of those and posted a little montage and said where everybody was from. And then when the restrictions lifted here in Ireland, as you know, it was so tough when you were just in that 2K. I had my little section of Phoenix Park that I could go to. And then when that all lifted, I said, okay, well, maybe we could try to do something in person. Obviously not getting everybody from all around the world, but the people that were here. And that's how the Phoenix Flyers started. That was 3 years ago, literally to this month, perhaps even this week. And yeah, it was just a way to actually get that community spirit going again. after having so long without it. Now I've been part of other run clubs and I love all of those as well, but this was just something that I could have a bit of fun with, and it actually became really a group of friends, and there's still people joining. We're still welcoming people into that group, of course, and now we've been going strong every Wednesday for 3 years, and now Tuesdays as well with some speed work. And I will say we're recording this on a Tuesday, and I'm not out doing my speed work. But
You could have lied. You could have said.
but yeah.
Eric would have called you
So
out on it anyway.
I'm blaming you two for that, but yeah, Thursday you can hold me accountable to that. But that's how the Phoenix Flyers came about.
When you took on your first half marathon, was that a big achievement? Look, a 10K is a 5K, a 1K, a couch to 5K. Everything is a big achievement as long as it's you going from one place to another. It's always you
Yeah.
versus you. How big of a step up was it? Obviously, in university where you're in Scotland, you're training probably on your own. Run clubs were not cool back then. There was no speed
No.
session Tuesdays. There was probably some bar Tuesday, another bar Wednesday. What was it like for you back then, and what was that achievement like?
Oh, it was a big achievement for me, running the half marathon. And like you say, there was no club. Maybe my housemate came out with me a few times to train, but it wasn't the norm. And I don't think we were posting on Instagram about it. I think that was in the early days back then too. But I was raising money at the time for the Children's Hospital in Belfast, so I guess I had that kind of motivation to get me through that training and that race. And at that time, I still knew the time didn't really matter to me that much. I just wanted to achieve the distance, and that's what I say to everybody now, especially when it's, well, of course, when it's your first race of that distance. Any time is a good time. It's your first time doing it. But I'd say, kind of building on that, Edinburgh half marathon was my first one, and I ran it another 2 times after that. And I think it was the third time I ran Edinburgh half was also my 5th half marathon. Just bear with me on this. And that was the first time I got it in under 2 hours. So it took me 5 attempts to do that. And I think that's also the thing with a lot of people that start running, thinking that they're going to get these times or these achievements and everything comes quickly, but it actually takes a lot of time to build up. So I was really happy that I ran the distance the first time. I loved getting under that 2 hours, and I'm still working towards faster times. It never ends.
Did Edinburgh, does it go through the city? Because that's a pretty hilly city.
It is just the first couple of miles, and then you head out along the coast, and then you're just into the wind. So it's awful still.
And you went back another 2 times.
You love suffering, Rachel. You love.
I do, yeah.
Did that take you on? Obviously, getting through 5, breaking the 2 hour. You'd done a couple. You became more race experience. You had a lot of consistency. Was that the point where you said, "Okay, the marathon is always in the back of my head. I've done this now. I'm, dare I say, a little bit more comfortable in that." You knew every step of that half marathon come the third time. Was that the point then the marathon became and the endurance end came to you, or was it always there, always a goal?
Exactly. I always wanted to run a marathon, and then I was actually back in Ireland doing my master's degree, and the run club that I was a member of then, they said to me, "Don't rush into the marathon. You've got plenty of years ahead of you." And they were encouraging me to try to do the sub 2 hour half. And then it was a challenge for myself as well. So once I achieved that, then I thought, okay, I'm ready to take on marathon. I know not everybody will do that. People might go for a faster time. People go straight to marathons. But for me, that's the stage that I felt, okay, I've ticked that off. Let's move on to something else. Try to run a bit further.
What was the first marathon you took on? What was the one that really tickled your fancy to go, right, this is going to be my first?
Well, I picked Edinburgh just because I'd been there for the half, but it's funny,
it's
not even where I didn't study there, and I haven't even been there in a while, but I guess it has quite a prominent feature in my running journey. So I wanted to go back there. It felt right to do the marathon, but then I guess I really want to do the world major marathons. So although Edinburgh was a good choice for my first, I'd love to be doing all of those majors. So you listed a few there, Sean. London and Chicago I've done, so there's a few more still to go.
And London twice.
I know. Everyone hates me because I got into London through the ballot twice.
Twice through the ballot.
Nice.
Yeah,
You played a lot,
in a
Rachel.
row. 2 times in a row.
You definitely do a
Eric, I'm
lot.
wrapping up the episode. I'm done.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm wrapping up.
You,
If it's any consolation, I've not entered again since, because I was like, okay, I've had my time twice.
Rachel, I just sent you €6. Will you do a quick pick for me there? Go down
I
the
know.
Spark. Get the plus. Get the plus,
Yeah.
Rachel.
How, when did you do it at a certain time that got you lucky in twice? What's the story?
Oh, I honestly do not know. I can't believe it. The first time was when it was still in October. So was that end of 2022?
I have
And then
down
I got it in
22,
April.
23.
Yeah, you'll know better than me. And then April 23. No, I don't know. I don't know what it is. So they just,
Right.
well, I think after the first time they knew I needed to get back there and get the time that I wanted. So they gave me that second chance. And I'm very grateful because then I did do it. So that's my PB comes from London 2023.
Right,
Which
Rachel,
is
with very green eyes, we
Mhm.
need to ask, begrudgingly, what's it like to line up at the start of a major marathon?
absolutely
What is it like?
amazing.
How many
honestly.
do it? Is it 50,000,
Oh
40,000?
yeah,
It's
I
huge,
think
isn't it?
about that. Yeah, yep. No,
What's
it's
it like?
insane. Well, literally remember standing at the start line of London Marathon the first time and looked around and there's another guy from Ireland right beside me. I was like, okay, here we go.
Can't go anywhere.
No, can't go anywhere. But no, it's amazing. And I think actually that second time I missed my start corral because the trains were late. So to be honest, I was kind of stressed that time. So it's amazing. But yeah, you still have your own like logistics to sort out no matter what. But no, London Marathon, definitely my favorite by far. The energy, the support, just the whole vibe. It's next level. So hopefully everybody listening gets a place. I'm sending you all positive vibes.
Positive for a millions tickets. Rachel, from that point, obviously, you decided, right, we're going to take on the world majors. You're
Yeah.
going to try and get around. It's a big undertaking, but obviously, you said you enjoy the process. You enjoy just the fact
I
that
do,
you
yeah.
can go for a run. Is that the kind of stimulus you need? Is this the stimulus you need to keep you going? Is it the ambition and the goal to help you get around, or because we all need? So I find when I don't have a race or I don't have an event, or
Mhm.
if I don't have a run club or someone social to keep me going, I'm just not going to put in the same intensity. Is this goal for you something that just is constantly a goal and you just keep working towards?
Yeah, exactly. Although it's hard with the majors because of the ballots. So I think I might have to take a little break for a while because I didn't get into Berlin this year, and that's obviously a relatively handy one for us to get to. And then the likes of Tokyo, well, now Sydney, of course. The States just requires a bit more planning. So part of me is kind of willing to accept that I'm not going to do them all maybe in the next couple of years, but at some point in my life. And also then, of course, for Boston, you have to qualify. So I'm thinking the later I can push that, maybe the older I get and the time comes down. Still need to run, I think, a 4-hour marathon even when you're maybe in your 60s. So I need to keep it going for a while. But no, I think just I'm the same as you, Eric. Having a race or some sort of goal does help keep me motivated. Having the group there, definitely on a Wednesday. Like there's weeks where I think, oh no, I could really just sit at home. But then I know the group's there, and once I get there, I'm totally fine. So having that motivation is really good. And yeah, love having a race or something to work towards. My husband's also a runner, and the two of us will kind of keep each other going with, or shall we both sign up for this? Shall we both do this? And then we're kind of training at the same time, which is really helpful. So I know I have Dublin later this year. Sure, we'll get into that a little bit, but we're also both going to Valencia again in December. So he is actually away out for his speed work right now. I made him leave so that it's nice and quiet.
You better not run too fast. Be back before this
I
is
know.
up.
Yeah.
Is he the person in the video with you doing San Francisco?
Yes, that's him. That's
So
Martin.
you
Yep.
ran a marathon with your other half side by side for the whole thing?
Yeah, and we live to tell the tale. Yeah.
And not once during that 42K when the phone was away, you're like, I'm going to kill him. for different places, stuff like that, going across Golden Gate Bridge and a few hills there, no?
Do you know, it was okay. I think it was probably more him wanting me to hurry up, not having so many toilet breaks and things like that. I think it was him. No, that's the first time we've ever ran a race together. And no, I think it was okay.
That's a
For us,
very
we were.
politically correct answer. It was a nightmare. Anyone who's taking that as sound advice, she's wrong. Rachel, stop lying to them. The divorce count after Dublin is going to grow now. Asher, I'll run with you.
I think if I was trying to run for a time, no way, I can't have anybody near me. Just need to be in the zone. But for that, because we have races coming up towards the end of the year, we knew we had to just take it easy. But I know that I don't think I could have ran much faster anyway, considering it's quite a hilly route. But no, we were just going to have some fun with it, soak up the atmosphere, have the full experience. So that's why I was able to have my phone out and record all of those clips. So that actually got me through, kind of knowing I was ticking them off each time.
And how was that marathon? And how was Chicago Marathon as well? How did those two compare? And you already said London's your favourite, but how did those two compare?
Yeah, both were amazing. So I would really recommend San Francisco for the vibes, going across the Golden Gate Bridge. It's amazing. I don't know if I'd recommend it for a PB because it's hilly, but I love San Francisco. I think you're a fan as well, Sean.
Just about, Sean.
Yeah. I was actually a little depressed when I saw your Instagram. It was on in July. I was like, if it was on November, I could time go over to see my football team and the marathon afterwards and put it all together, but I won't rule it out.
I know. I didn't get to go to any games. Focused on the marathon. But no, it's incredible. It's a great place. Then Chicago, also amazing. That was my first time there last October. Again, with the World Major, it just has that buzz. The energy there, so much support. It's a really cool city. I really love Chicago. I think it maybe gets a little bit of a bad name at times, but I thought it was great. We did an architecture boat tour afterwards, just things, that I didn't have to walk around too much. And I thought it was cool. Deep dish pizza.
That's some sort of code for drinking. Because when I tell people the architecture, it means I was in a pub somewhere.
I think I was drinking beer at the same time. There was a bar on the boat.
I love Chicago. Someone in our group, in the Barcelona WhatsApp group we have, I think was put up a thing this week about the different marathons, and I looked into it. It seems to be Chicago could be one of the easiest to get to for ballot. I could be wrong on that. Is that how you did it as well, the ballot as well? Or are you just incredibly lucky?
I got in through the ballot there as well, yeah. So that was just pure luck.
That could. I'm going to try and get
go for it.
Sean's already Googling. I know you.
I don't want to tell people. November.
That's true.
It comes out November, the ballot for it, because I always miss it. It's like straight off of Dublin, isn't it? No?
Yeah, no, it's very hard to get into. Wouldn't even bother entering.
Nah, don't bother, guys. Don't bother. Listen, don't bother at all.
Rachel, I'm going to give you my email address and my credit card. Would you just do us a favour there and just put it in for me? Use my name, but put it in for me. Is it exciting? Well, obviously getting the nod to do it as well, and the planning element, and getting yourself there and finding hotels. We've done it with our own Barcelona trip, and it is exciting. Are these destination marathons something that you can always see yourself doing?
Oh, definitely. I love going for even a normal run whenever I'm on holiday or going anywhere. I'm always trying to fit a run in. So being able to do a race as well, it's so exciting. And it's just another way to kind of remember a place, I think, and you have those memories, whether it's a race for a time or just to go for fun. I think it doesn't matter. I'm with you on that one.
Taking the marathons we've mentioned out of the equation, so your Londons, your San Francisco, Chicago, and all the rest. If I was like your favorite kind of place to go running, because you've gone to a good few places to go for runs. When I'm like, all right, holiday, enjoy, great run, great scenery, all the rest, what pops to mind?
Anywhere where I'm beside the sea. So that can still be up at home for me on the Causeway Coast. That's just pure bliss. It's amazing. And even on a stormy day, when you have the waves crashing in, it's so good and you feel really hardcore because you're like, yeah, I'm running at the same time. So that's good. And then, yes, and you'll agree, as long as you can get your nice cold beer or your pina colada afterwards when you're on holiday, that's also makes it a good run.
I saw on your Instagram the other day as well, and look, we could probably dive into each of the. We could get you back for
Oh
each of these
dear.
episodes. One, to find out how you get a ticket, and two, to find out the details of each one. But to touch on it lightly, we talked about it a couple of times on the podcast about the joys of a park run
Mm.
and how you can actually include it in your long training. And I saw
Oh yeah.
in something you tagged us in, you were on your run to a park run to then
Yeah.
run home. How important is park run in your week, in your life, and how good is it for training?
So parkrun is very important to me. I love parkrun, and I would encourage everybody to do it, no matter what distance you're running. I'm on the core team over in Porterstown. Don't know if you've been to Porterstown Parkrun in Dublin. So it's a big part of my life because some weeks I might be run director, other weeks I could be in a different volunteering role, and then I try to run there as much as I can. But I do like doing a bit of parkrun tourism. So I'll, like we were saying, on holiday, if there's one there. So I've been to parkrun when I was in Rome, and I don't know if actually I've done that many too far away, but I'll try to see if there is something. But trying to tick off quite a few even in Dublin. There's so many in Dublin. Like you could actually spend ages just trying to run all of those. It's really fun to do, as I call it, a park run sandwich, because you run a bit beforehand, run a bit afterwards, and your park run's the filling. And it's just a nice way to break it up because, as well, at Porterstown we have tea and coffee and some treats, so you can refuel before you set off again, which is always great. You can have people to run with, so if you're doing your kind of the run to and from park run by yourself, at least you have a bit with other people. And if sometimes you just need that to kind of keep you going a little, maybe even to slow you down at times as well. It can be useful for that. So it's great for the training, and even just to run. I also like doing this, just running basically as far from home as possible, and then I might get the bus or train back again. But you could run out and do park run, have your tea and coffee afterwards, and then get the bus home. Anyway, make a bit of an adventure out of it.
We have mentioned it a lot of times, but now that you're involved in it, I feel like I can ask,
Mhm.
how do people find out about their local park run?
You can go on to parkrun.ie, and there's a map there that actually shows you the location of all park runs in Ireland, and you can see which one's close to you. And every park run then has their own page, and it will tell you how to get there, whether you're driving, walking, public transport, and it will show you the route so you know where the meeting point is. A lot of park runs would maybe have a Facebook page or an Instagram account as well. So if you find it on the website, you can maybe go and find their more, personalized page there. And then it's just on the website, make sure you register. It's free. You can get your personalized barcode. You only need to register once, and then you bring that barcode with you to the run, no matter which one you go to, anywhere in the world, just that one time. And it's cool now, the barcode, you can have a screenshot of it on your phone. You can even have it on your watch face. So you don't need to have a piece of paper printed out anymore. So it's very handy. But bring that with you. Rock up just before 9:30 on a Saturday morning, and there's a briefing. If it's your first time, there's a first timers briefing as well. So they'll tell you a bit more about the course. And then, yeah, away you go. That's it.
A lot of people who are taking on a couch to 5K, like park run, I think this is an absolutely amazing concept to encourage people out, but it's still like joining a run club, which we'll touch on again, which you have. It's daunting to make that first step. It's daunting to go down and be a non-runner with a field of runners, which is never the case. We're all non-runners
I know.
who try and run. What can
Yeah.
people expect when they show up, like first timers, and what takes that nervousness off them? What would you recommend, or can you advise for people who are thinking about it, on the fence about it, they have the pair of shoes, but just not the confidence to show up?
I'd say once you get there and realize just the mix of people that there are, I think all of those fears will be gone. We also have, so it's park run, but there's also a park walk initiative. So there will be people there with a blue high vis vest on, and they're the park walkers. So they'll be walking the whole 5K. But we also have a tail walker, and they are always the last person to cross that finish line. Because I know some people say to me, "Oh, I'll be the last one there." I'm like, "No, you won't. There's a tail walker. They will be last." So you're going to be fine. And there's people there
If personal training doesn't work out, I found a job for you.
I was waiting for it. As soon as you started with that, I was like, oh, he's jumping in there.
Yeah, get paid in tea and coffee and cake. That's it. Um, oh,
But
it's
I'll
good.
take. I'm just not running after tea and coffee. I'm done.
it's a great
But
it is a great initiative to get people included, and it is 1 day a week, and even if that is all it is that you're doing, it is
yeah,
1 week, 1 day of consistency every week to get you out and
exactly.
build. You use it obviously for bigger things. Do you get that when you have newcomers and they know that you've done this many marathons and they're like, I'm not going running with you, Rachel, you're too good?
But they'll not say too good, but some people would say, "Oh, but sure you can run faster. Um, I'll not be able to keep up." But I said, "But I wouldn't have asked to run with you if I wanted to run faster, or I don't, if I was
Yeah.
going out to do my speed work, I go out and do that. If I'm wanting to run at, a nice conversational pace, then I want to have a conversation. So no, I'll always want people to run with me. And now, in saying that, for anybody who's listening and doesn't know me, I don't really consider myself to be very fast, but everybody has somebody that's faster than them. So yeah, you have those conversations. And then that can happen with Run Club as well. I try to tell people, the Wednesday nights, that's not for a PB. We're not getting out there to run super fast. It's just a time to move, to catch up with friends, to meet new people, get a bit of fresh air, and just have that break during the week. So it's not always about those fast runs.
It's one thing someone kept saying to me when I was in run clubs in Dubai was every pace has a place. And the more
Yeah,
we can say that to people, that it's a run. It's you versus you, it's you versus a time, it's you versus 10,000 steps.
yeah,
Whatever the goal is, every pace does have a place, particularly in run clubs. And you spoke about the TikTok era and bringing run clubs together and people together. When you started to do the live meetups, was it daunting to go into? We've had other run clubs on talk about the startup and the excitement and nervousness. What was it like for you starting the physical side of a run club and meeting up?
it was a little nerve-wracking, but I managed to encourage some of my friends from work to be there, so I knew that I wasn't just going to be there alone. But I always say, a few weeks ago, I mentioned we have the Tuesday nights as well for speed work. I did do that by myself because nobody else was able to come that week, but you just have to keep it going. But yeah, it's a bit nerve-wracking, and you think you're putting yourself out there, and especially when you are sharing things online and those people sometimes are coming and they know who you are and you don't know who they are, and you're trying to figure out everybody's name and, oh, how did you find out about this, and have I actually met you before? And you have to not overthink it though, and just I've kind of got over that maybe social anxiety, and now if I just say something like, if I've met you before, I'm sorry, I just need to reintroduce myself, so it's fine.
We just get our names screamed at us the way we scream it at each other, and we're like, I have no idea. I have no idea who that person is.
Yeah.
But it is fantastic. It's great. It's great that people can recognize you from it and have comfort in the fact that we're here to be fun. We're here to talk about running. We're here to
Yeah.
do all of those good things. Then where did the ambassador side come into it? Was it through run clubs? Was it through park runs? Or was it through the social media end? Because social media is, for me personally, there's a reason why I like a faceless podcast as we have our videos on. But it's a difficult place for me. I'm not very comfortable in it. It's a difficult place to put yourself out. But to become an ambassador, it's obviously part of the requirement. So how is that for you, and how do you manage that side of your life?
Well, even go back to how all of that on Instagram or TikTok started. I just put it out there almost as a bit of a log for myself. I'm not really putting things out there to try to um become an
Thank
influencer
you,
or
Dane.
anything like that. I have a day job that pays me well, and I'm going to keep working on that, so that's the main thing. So I like doing all of the Instagram and, well, running and everything. It is my passion, and being able to share that through Instagram, I guess, is why I do that. And I know there's sides to it, when you get some comments and things like that. Actually, what did I posted about a run a few weeks ago where I didn't hit the targets that I was supposed to do in this long run. and the amount of unsolicited advice that I got in the comments,
Oh
it's
wow, okay.
ridiculous. I was like, these people do not know me, so we're just going to ignore all of that. So yeah, if you're in it, if you're fully in that social media world, I think it can be a bit scary. So for me, it's all about fun, and I love being able to share my own running journey, the running club. But I guess I've always been posting, and then just to tie this all in together, I've always worn Asics shoes. So you can apply to
Is
be
this
an
a
Asics.
lottery, Rachel? Another lottery that Rachel won. She's getting. I would hate to
There's a
see
theme.
underneath your Christmas tree. Must be amazing.
Well, in the
You applied
similar
for the lottery.
fashion, I applied for the Asics Sprint Lottery. No, I had done that actually quite a few years, because I thought if there's a brand that I want to work with, it's Asics. I've always worn their shoes. I wouldn't want to be promoting something that I didn't like.
Yeah.
So
Right.
then that's now 3 years ago. Then I applied and was lucky enough to be chosen to be part of the UK and Ireland team. And I guess the run club had started by then. I think being able to put myself out there a little bit more helped with that application, because they knew that I was you have to post on social media, so they know that I'm comfortable with that, but they also knew that I was interested in having that community and that side of things as well. So I guess it all helped, but I would be doing the run club and I'd be posting about my running journey regardless of the Asics front runner opportunity.
And that's what I mean. Look, it's fantastic that it's a benefit to it. It's a little extra responsibility as well, but like we say, we have our sponsors here, and the only way we take them on is, have we tried it? Do we like it?
Mm-hmm.
And we stand over it, because we're very honest, probably too honest. But we say it as it is, and if you believe in something and it works for you and you're willing to do it, then yeah, it's a match made in heaven. So Asics, if you're listening, love your shoes, love your top, love your running gear. You can give Sean and me €1 million or someone to come onto the podcast. But it's
We have someone on the podcast. It's Rachel.
Did we?
Yeah, I know. It'll take 10 more Rachels.
Yeah.
It'll fill the slots for next year. Do you feel
there are 4 more? There are 4 more front runners in Dublin, so I'll line them up for you. You can talk to them next.
Very good. Have they got access to the same lottery system you have for all the races? Do you feel a little bit of pressure, or is it because you wear all this stuff all the time and it's a reputable brand? Asics has been around as long as I remember growing up. It was actually the shoe I used to associate with running. So many other brands have come around and have had a piece or a share of the market, and everyone's making a carbon plate shoe and stuff. But as far or as young as I am, I always associated Asics with running. Do you feel a little bit of pressure when you are this ambassador and you are posting? Does it add a little bit of pressure to you, or what way do you see that element of it?
I don't really feel too much pressure, although we're obligated to post a couple of times a month, but I'd be doing that anyway. And they keep us well stocked with shoes. Sorry to say this.
This Christmas tree. Christmas.
Yeah, nice shoes and kit so that we have items to talk about. Now, we also review them on the website as well. And so if you go on there, you'll see my name with all my thoughts. So they keep us well kitted out. But yes, there can be a bit of pressure in a way to think of creative ways to show it. Some people do really nice transition videos and they're jumping in and out of all of the different outfits. Whereas I quite like I'm out for a run and I'm talking to the camera. And also I'll just tell you, I happen to be wearing this t-shirt. Now sometimes if I have a bit of time, I'll put something fancy together, but I try to keep it natural and as honest as possible.
Is your mind constantly thinking of these kind of ideas and stuff like that, Rachel, down on runs and all the rest, or because you post a lot? Like I mean, like a compliment kind of way. Like like sometimes, like Eric said, thinking of ideas for the thing. Like, no, we'll get someone else to put up our stuff on the podcast page at this stage.
I know it can be hard to think of those things, but I just keep it natural. And if I'm going out for a run, like today, I went out at lunchtime and just recorded myself out on my balcony saying, I'm about to go out for a run. And then I just did a few clips when I was out, and then I was back with my chicken fillet roll for lunch. And I was listening to you guys, and you were talking about nutrition, and I was like, what will I have? And I was like, no, I should eat well, I should get those calories in. But just putting those clips together, and then that was it. There's not a whole big production. It's just filming when you're running and putting it together. So
And it's one
that's it.
thing I love about your videos is the honesty. Because when I saw the park run and you were going to and from, and then it was like, now I've got my breakfast roll. I was like, Rachel is my spirit animal.
Yeah,
I was like, she is everything I want to be. When I grow up, I am going to be just like Rachel. It's the honest side that makes it relatable, and we see it as well with this podcast. Hopefully, people are finding us relatable. The guests we have relatable, to be talking about what we do in our regular lives, what we like, the food we eat, but just incorporating that running lifestyle, because running is very much a lifestyle. Especially we talk about brand ambassador and the social media side, which has become so much, but you're just adding it into a life. It's very helpful that your partner's so interested, because a shared lifestyle makes it easy. You're not negotiating. Why are you going running for 3 hours? Why are you waking up at
exactly.
6 a.m.? But running as a lifestyle, in terms of benefits, what have you seen it do for people in your run clubs, people in park runs, and even in your own lives as a couple, making it a lifestyle?
Yeah, I think making it a lifestyle is definitely one of the kind of the best things we've done. I think for me personally, as I said earlier, it's nice having that escape. And, I'm sitting here actually where I'm talking to you right now is my desk where I sit every day for work. And so I work from home every day on the laptop. And now it's not a life or death kind of job. It's not that serious, but I will get myself quite stressed out about it. So it's nice to go out for the runs and just have that time to clear my head. So that's what it really does for me. And I know there's other people through the run club that will have the same sort of thing for their mental health, being able to go and just, yeah, take that break, come to run club, chat. We also have a rant about whatever's going on if you want to talk about it. So it just kind of opens up that space. And alternatively, which it's not been for me, but if it is like for weight loss or your physical health as well, it's still that's that's still good. I've not used it for that aspect of my life, but if it helps you, it's going to help both your physical and mental health, I think, from that side too.
Rachel, a lot of stuff you've done has been a social element, but you've done a lot of races like this year in particular already. You've done like the Dublin half, you did Trim 10
Oh,
mile, Malaga. What stands out, and is there any races you think, this is something that doesn't get talked about enough for people that people should do?
when they're training for a race,
Just something
literally.
that's, for example, we have the Trim 10 mile is a race that's very hard to get
Oh,
into. That sells out pretty fast, but we haven't had anyone on the podcast talk about that race itself before. I know you said it's one
it's
big loop, but apart from that, I know very little about it.
it is such a good race. I would highly recommend it. And I was just talking to others a few days ago because I did the Frank Duffy 10 mile in Phoenix Park, and Trim, I I think Trim is better for a PB, and I love like closed country roads, especially whenever you're running in Dublin all the time, and then you can go out to Trim and kind of feels like the countryside. To me, it's still not the countryside. But
Yeah.
compared to being in Dublin, no, it's really nice. One big loop, and then as you're in that last kilometer, you're kind of turning into the industrial estate where the start and finish line is. And usually the wind is hitting you. It's a bit uphill to the finish, but you're just giving it everything you've got. It's so good. It's just a race, you have to go for it. So try to get in. I think the entries for it open in about November time, but I've already
Mm,
told my group, I was like, we all need to get
going
into
for that.
this. It's going to be good. Yeah. It's a nice one at the start of the year. If you're training for a marathon or a half marathon or anything in, April, May time, to have that 10 mile, it's in February. So it's, no time to waste at the start of January. You have to get into it.
When you're looking at your schedule for the year and your lottery systems are fixing, or whatever it is you do, Rachel, um, do
The
you
magic.
do you find having goal races like this really important? Or is it just a mental break from the monotony of week 3 long run, week 4 long run? What are these races to you? Do you use them as part of training? What do they mean to you? How do you use them?
Yeah, some of these races will be part of the training. So Frank Duffy a couple of weeks ago, I thought I'm just going to try to run that at the pace I want to run Dublin Marathon. So it's a good training run. When I know I can run that distance, okay, let's see if I can try to run it at a certain pace. And then other races, so I'm also doing the half marathon in the race series as well. I'll probably do the same thing, but funny, the timing of that probably should be running more than a half marathon that day. So I might still add on a bit more, but maybe during the race, try to focus on keeping a steady pace throughout it. But then there'll be other ones. So of course, here I am knowing that Dublin's coming up and I run San Francisco Marathon in July. But that's why we just said we need to kind of take that easy. I would not recommend putting in a marathon in kind of the middle of your other marathon training block. But I was in the right place at the right time. I had to do it. So
Sometimes when the opportunity presents, you don't really have a choice. You kind of just have to take it. But there is something to be said for being marathon fit at the start of a marathon block. I think with July is probably around 14 or so weeks to go or thereabouts. Does it give you a little bit of confidence coming off a marathon? I know it wasn't the speediest marathon. You took your time, preserved the body, preserved the legs a little bit to maintain, because as you know, it's all about being able to train tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Is it giving you we spoke about speed in your half marathons, and you have goal paces you want to hit, particularly in this race. Does that give you a little bit of confidence having a marathon in the legs? Forget about speed as in time on feet, going into heavier side of the block?
Exactly. It makes me feel confident that I can complete the distance. So I know it's in me. I can do that. But then I think on the day, you never know what can happen. Some things just change the whole trajectory of it.
I don't think so.
No. Oh no, I've had bad days where the cramps kick in or something happens, but anyway, we don't let that bother us anymore. But no, it's nice knowing that I can complete the distance. On one hand though, part of me thought, oh, have I kind of wrecked myself a bit and not given myself enough time to recover, or what if I hurt myself doing that? So there is that other aspect to it as well. I took a few weeks to recover and I was tired coming back with jet lag as well. And just last week, so I guess that's maybe 3 weeks later that I actually kind of felt normal and was having a normal training week again. So yeah, it can give you the confidence that you can cover that distance, but also there's that worry that, oh, what if I've tired myself out a bit too much? But so far it's okay.
It's a tightrope, like all other marathon training.
Yeah.
Like I know myself, even this year, I did Dunedin 50k 4 weeks out from Barcelona, and I ran a PB. But the pacing and stuff was different. And I did the same a couple of years ago, which was my PB, the Galway one, 4 weeks before Dublin, and same thing just happened. There's something about getting that extra volume in. You feel safe after, but then there is a case doing too much. So when you come 3-4 weeks out from Dublin, what would be your long run, and what would you say to if there's people in the Phoenix Flyers that are also in a marathon? Like, do you say it's different for everyone, or is there a certain pace like hitting or distance like hitting before the marathon, or what way do you work it?
I would say everyone has a different long run distance. If it was your first ever marathon, I would say getting to that 32 kilometers is fine, because you just don't want to wreck yourself beforehand. And obviously you have the taper. I would be doing that long run 3 weeks before to give myself time. But now, knowing that I can run that distance and you're trying to maybe go for a faster time, I'd be going up to maybe 34, 35. But in saying that, I'm following a plan. I don't know if we want to get into this. This is a whole other topic.
We do actually, because Eric's doing the same thing. So I do want to get into this. Go ahead.
Yes. My plan asked me to do 34 kilometers on the Saturday past and for the next 2 Saturdays. I'm like, surely that is too much. So, yeah, I'm questioning things.
Are we allowed to?
I'm not trusting the process.
What plan you're following?
So I am following the runner plan for the Dublin Marathon.
The debate continues.
Yeah. This is my first time using it.
I sent them an
Sorry.
email to see if they'd give me a plan so I could follow and review it, and they didn't reply. So now I'm going to slate them. No, I'm only joking.
Don't worry, I have no affiliation.
What we spoke about it. We touched on it lightly on one of our recordings. And maybe it hasn't been. We have actually, because people reached out to me about the Run It app and really enjoyed it. Some people seeing some fantastic benefits, really suited them. But I suppose having covered ultras, which we haven't touched yet, marathons and everything else, you begin to know your capabilities. And I will say, for me, it becomes preferences. If someone was saying you need to run 34, you need to run 34, you need to run 34, but they don't say why. I don't really like running 34 kilometers 3 weeks in a row. Are you going to trust the blind faith, or does experience come in? Is this part of the dangers of following app trainings, which I am doing now as part of my little experiment?
Yeah, I am not following it to the letter because I thought 34 was too much, but I ran 30. I feel like that is acceptable. But I think throughout all of the training sessions it gives me, I'm taking it with a pinch of salt. And like you say, there are some people that follow it, do it every session, ticking them off, and it does work well. But a lot of people I've spoken to say, oh, it gives me really tough paces, and I've got injured because I did follow it all and I ran too fast. I've hurt myself, so just telling me to be careful. So I've tried to take that on, but in the first few weeks, I don't know if it's the layout of the app, and you get to tick off the sessions. I was like, I've got to do this, and I fell into that trap a little, and then I had to say, whoa, take it back here. And I started that plan back in June just to give me time with San Francisco and give me time for recovery. But even now, I think it was last week, I didn't hit the pace on my tempo run. But it doesn't know, I think it just doesn't know what stress you're under, how much sleep you've had, what you've eaten. But for me, actually, I made a funny discovery, and I thought you guys would appreciate this. On Runna, once you've done a run, you can, before you get the AI summary, that tells you how good you are, you can give it the thumbs up or thumbs down. I've been giving it a thumbs up for every session because I thought it was just like, oh, you have to press something to get the information. And my husband told me, he said, no, well, if you keep giving it a thumbs up, it's going to think you can handle this, and you can't handle the paces it's giving you. I was like, oh, I've just been thumbs up, thumbs up.
Well, maybe
give me more.
Yeah, so I only have myself to blame, but no, I've just been trying to be very mindful. So, for example, I'll mention these paces just to put it into context. It wanted me to run 5K last week at 4 minutes and 40 seconds per kilometer. Now, I think I'd be on for a PB at that pace. Like, that's not a pace I would be holding. So I told myself, okay, if I can do it at 5 minutes per kilometer, that's good. And I did. I averaged 4:58, so I was really happy with that. But of course, then it says, no, you didn't hit this. It's like, well, maybe, try again next week.
Why did you even throw a bet this morning, Rachel?
Yeah. Yeah. You're a terrible person. Why are you running a marathon? But no, you just have to say, you have to know what you're capable of and know what you're proud of. That's what I try to tell other people as well. And obviously running a 5K at that pace for me is amazing on a Thursday evening. So I'm going to just keep listening to myself. But I am following the plan. I am ticking them off. It's good for accountability. And what I really like about it is that it puts the sessions into your watch. So I would have done that anyway on Garmin, but it's nice that it's just done even automatically.
Yeah, and linked to your calendar, so you can kind of look at your week and you can schedule, oh, right, I want pizza that night, and and whatever else. For me, it's always food related. But it is good to follow. I want to ask, and it's more so for discussion, as we say, we've met up and we want to debate this. I found running with pace to be very, very difficult. And that's why I like to choose intensity, because I think two things I want to get your opinion on, Rachel. One, should we be looking at hours or time spent running versus distance, and also intensity over pace? Because I think I'm looking at my distances, and I'm on a half marathon plan to get me up to November to then move on to a marathon plan for Barcelona. And my distances are like 32K this week, 33K next week. And then I'm looking at some people we're interviewing, it's like 120k backwards, upside down. I was like, oh my God. But then I look at the hours and I'm like, well, they ran 21k in the time it would take me to run 11. You know, like it's, I think sometimes distances can drag you in, paces can drag you in, because that's all people, how fast did you run? What's your PB? What's your opinion in the two styles of training, the intensity, heart rate, whatever way you want to call it, perceived effort versus pace?
True, it's a good topic, and I will still focus on pace when I'm training for a certain time. So I have a time that I want to do in Dublin Marathon, so I do want to practice at that pace. That's how I'll feel confident on the day. But not all sessions need to be like that, in my opinion. And I'll just say for anybody listening, I'm not qualified to give training advice,
No,
but this is
neither
just
am
from
I.
my experience. So I would do hill sessions, and now both the app and the training plan, but also myself, I would know I'm not worried about what pace I'm running up the hill, but I know I'm giving it a hard effort. So that's fine. But then if I am trying to train myself to run at a certain pace, it's good to have those tempo sessions and try it then. But then you can't be too hard on yourself if you're not hitting it for all of those reasons I said before. So a bit of a mix. I've tried heart rate training, and I think I was listening to this in one of your other episodes of trying the zone 2 and getting that worked out with the VO2 max, and I've gone for that myself actually. I'm just going to add fuel to the fire here. I won an Instagram competition one time.
Oh, Rachel, thanks. That's all we've time for
That's
this
all we're
week.
done, yeah.
Asics, if
That's
you're
it for
listening.
myself,
I'm
Aaron
sorry.
and Rachel. Take care. Best of luck.
Oh my God. What time's
Yeah.
Christmas dinner, Rachel? I'm doing Christmas.
Oh, there's actually so many examples. It's so funny. But I won. I've never won anything before, but I got to go over to Health Matters
Rachel,
to do
No, cut that back.
Get your tongue. I bet you it's black.
honest.
I'm telling lies. Oh my God, Sean, edit them out. People will think she's a bad
Pinocchio there.
Oh my God, she was so honest all the and then she started lying after 54 minutes.
No one's going to believe anything you said now after that one, Rachel. No, that's you're just
Oh my God.
goodwill gone.
All of the running's a lie. The whole thing's fake.
I'm never going to work a ticket off you. It's a scam.
AI has gotten so good.
Sorry, Rachel, you were saying a lie there.
Oh.
Health matters.
Yeah, I went out there. Now this was a good few years ago, and I thought it was really interesting getting your zones. But I have to say, I don't really stick to that too much. But I know if I'm going out on an easy run, I'm not worried about pace. I just want to know that I feel comfortable and that I can chat. So that's how I incorporate that in. But I know on Runner you can choose whether you want to go with pace or the perceived effort. And maybe I should try that a bit more so that it's not shouting at me so much. But I would.
See, for me, it's great because when it wants me to run hard, my heart rate's already at 170 at like a 630 kilometer. So I was like, yeah, I am winning. And that's good for a couple of weeks until you're still not running faster. So it's kind of hard to know. And that's why the beauty of having an in-person coach, and we always say we are a podcast, we talk about our troubles, our trials and tribulations, but you can guarantee there's hundreds of thousands of people who are following these apps with no clue of anything what we've just talked about. And that's what we're trying to highlight is it's a guide, it's great motivator. Particularly when you're training on your own. I'm in Mozambique here, nobody runs with me. So if it wasn't, and I do say this openly, if it wasn't for one, podcast, I have to do it, otherwise Sean will give out to me for content. And two, if it wasn't for the Garmin on my wrist as the motivator and guiding me, or it is a fantastic aid to motivate me to keep going and to try and go out with a bit of a purpose. Otherwise, it would just become monotonous. So it is fantastic. It's a great tool. But again, I have a lot of preferences, and when my fake coach goes, you need to do this, and I'm like, nah, man, you don't know me.
No. You were talking about this of the extra, and you could do an additional 30 minutes
Oh yeah,
on a run. I was laughing at that today. I was like, yeah, no.
yeah.
Why would you do that?
Did that go up after 34k, Rachel?
Yeah.
That was today's. That was the lunchtime entertainment today.
Yeah, I changed onto a fixed. They have these. It's real unusual with the Garmin app. On the app, you can pick Garmin Coach, but if you go online and log in, you can actually find a larger variety of training plans on Garmin.com Connect, whatever it is. And I was actually able to read through a plan, and it has quite a similar structure. So a Wednesday will be in intervals, and training sessions I recognized through doing a bit of having coaches and whatever else. And I was like, this seems more me. And intensities, and I could see it increasing by a couple of minutes each week. And I was like, yes, okay, I'm comfortable with that end. But the actual AI coach who's going to amend everything, like I kicked him out of the house after the first week. I'd had enough of him. But it is something to consider as we go. But one training session you will not get, or one training plan on Garmin anyway, not that I've seen, ultra marathons.
Yes.
How
So
you go into them? Did you get bored? Did you win a competition?
no,
She won a.
I won.
You say you won like a trip to Badwater or something,
No.
Rachel. I'm just stopping there. The
No,
podcast never
don't
seen the
worry.
light of day.
I wish. No, the ultra. I can't even remember how that came about, but I think it was just okay. Let's have a new challenge. Let's try something else. And actually, I wanted to do my first. Well, I knew of other people running ultras. I knew it was a thing. So of course, well, I'll give it a go. I always wanted to do my first ultra up on the Causeway Coast, and there's a company there, or events company called 26 Extreme in the north. So they organise amazing events. So I had ran the Causeway Marathon. Actually, this was in 2021. Sean, you might have these dates written down, but as you've stopped the Instagram.
I'm not gonna. The first back I had was London 2022.
Your luck, Rachel. We just need your IBAN and BIC as well, and we'll be on our way.
Yeah. I ran the Causeway Marathon in 2021 because they weren't putting the ultra on that year because of COVID. No buses to take people to the start. But I still had that in me that I wanted to do it. And the same company, 26 Extreme, also host events in Tollymore Forest in County Down. So I went there. This could have been that same year. Could have been 2021 and 2022. I've run the same ultra twice. So I don't know if that makes. It's kind of only one ultra, but I've done it twice.
60k though, Rachel. Anything over 42 is ultra, but you did 60k for it. How was that?
Honestly, one of the best days of my life because you're just out in a forest running all day. I think I was with my friend and her sister, and the three of us were probably nearly the last people to cross the finish line. Like, we got our money's worth. We were out there all day. But it's 3 laps of the forest. So first lap, you're filled with energy. You're like loving life. This is amazing. The second lap is where it gets hard because you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. But then by the third lap, you know, once you start, you just have to keep going and get to that finish. So it's the middle bit that's actually the hardest. And that's, I guess it's hard. You're doing those loops. So you know what you're getting yourself into. Maybe that's not what everybody would like. And an A to B is nice. But at the same time, we got to run through the finish area and, you know, have sausage rolls and sandwiches and proper food to keep us going. So it was good fun. I absolutely love it. I really want to do it again or do another one somewhere else. But I guess it's just that balance of once you sign up and get into these ballots, you have to train for the marathons, and then it's hard to do it.
How did you feel, Rachel, that first time crossing 42 kilometers of instead on the watch of the forest and knowing you had 18k left? Did it feel like you hit a marathon, or did it feel different on that day?
Oh, it was hard. I think because you're always mentally prepared for the distance you need to do.
Yes.
So you're not going out there thinking, right, I'm running a marathon today. And then of course we were running really slowly because we knew we had hills to climb and we were walking the hills, and there's no time pressure apart from the company, the people organizing it needing to go home. But you know, there's not that same pressure of I want to get a sub for but I think they were kind of packing up everything as we were crossing that finish line, but the pressure's gone. So you don't have that feeling of, I need to get to that marathon point. And yeah, by the finish, you're just exhausted, but it's a really good sense of achievement because, yeah, it's just such an adventure. It's something so different than doing a road race.
Can I ask, is it harder? Based on no pressure, more food, sausage rolls in the middle. You don't get sausage rolls handed out double marathon, I don't think. Everything else handed out, but I don't think
But
they're handed out. So is it harder than 42, do you think?
I think if you're used to putting that pressure on yourself on a road race for a time, running an ultra marathon with no time pressure, but just knowing that you want to finish it, I want to say it's easier as long as you let yourself enjoy it. Now, I know people that will go and race ultras. They're going to say the ultra's harder. But if you're kind of a normal person like me and you're doing it for fun, yeah, it's a different experience. Now, you're still going to be sore and you're going to be tired. It's going to have all of those same feelings, but I think you've got permission to walk. Well, I say you can walk anytime, but we all know when you're trying to go for that time on the road, you're pushing on. Whereas on the trails, you can take it easy. You can enjoy nature. You can have your sausage rolls. So
It
I'd maybe
sounds
say a little
lovely
easier.
apart from the run. You almost had me sold.
Yeah. And beer. There's beer at the finish line. If this will convince you for 26 Extreme, they give you a beer at the finish line.
Oh,
So
yes.
it's worth it. 60k for a Mourne Mountains Brewery beer. Not sponsored.
I'm taking it, absolutely. There's other ultras I've done at the end, and they said beer, and I got non-alcoholic, and I was like, hang on a second.
The Eco Trail does that, I think.
That's what I was thinking of, yeah. 80k, and they got the nice mug for it, and they're like, oh, we'll fill that for you. And it was non-alcoholic. I'm like, no.
I know. I was supporting a friend there last year, and I was like, oh, great, I can get a beer while I'm waiting for it to finish. And then I was like, and I think I asked, was it only non-alcoholic? No, it was still nice, and obviously that's fine. And I'm on the non-alcoholic now until Dublin, so I can't knock it. But yeah, I was disappointed, and I'm sure the runners were too that day.
Because Eric's not saying it. Wicklow Wolf, €1,000,000 again on the podcast.
I know.
Any other beer companies want to send us out a free crate, we'll also take it. We're actually running a competition. Rachel's the only one entrant, so we're guaranteeing a win. Rachel, we've covered a lot. We've taken up a lot of your time. Have you any goals? Obviously, Dublin, is there a goal you have in mind you're willing to share out loud, or is it still a secret?
No, I can share. So I would just like to beat my marathon PB, which is 3 hours, 55 minutes, 37 seconds. So if I get under the 3:55, I'll be happy. But I'll be happy to get round it as well as a bit of a B goal, So it'll be a good day either way.
For anyone who's taken on a day like Dublin, anyone who's trying to travel abroad or taking on the marathons, looking for run clubs, looking for park runs, looking to do the lotto, what advice do you have for all of the above? Because I've got my pen and paper ready. Let's start with the lotto.
Oh, no.
Rachel, let's go.
Yeah. No. Well, always number 7 because that's my birthday as well. So a lucky number. I think you just have to go for these things, and yeah, general advice for all of this: not take yourself too seriously, have a lot of fun. That's what it's all about. The PBs are good, but there's also amazing times when you've just been running with friends or been running for a certain I want to say goal, but not a time goal. Maybe you're raising money, something like that. And I think there's just so many other things that running can give you. So yeah, give it a go. Get some friends to come with you. Don't worry too much about all of the plans and the different things. Just, get out there. Have some fun.
Rachel, when you get in the battle again for the New York Marathon for next year, we'll have you back in the podcast for that one to talk about it. But absolutely brilliant listening to you and your journey, and best of luck with Dublin and Valencia as well. You have the end of the year as well.
Thank you.
Best of luck with that, everything with the Phoenix Flyers and wearing those Asics. And with that said, that's this week's episode of the Any Given Run Day podcast. Myself, Rachel, and Eric. Take care.